Hey there! Are you thinking about forming a new limited liability company and wondering if you should organize it in your home state or if it should be somewhere else? I'm Greg Bohl from startingyourbusiness.com, and in this video I'm going to answer that very question along with some things to consider too before making this choice. Before jumping in, you need to know that I'm not an attorney or an accountant, so before taking any actions you should really talk with a licensed professional. If you've done any research online about starting an LLC, I'll bet that you've seen and been tempted by those ads claiming that forming an LLC in states like Nevada, Wyoming, or Delaware will save you a bunch of money and give you all kinds of benefits. And while all this sounds great, let me tell you, that's mostly just hype, and there is actually some misleading information that may add a ton of complexity and costs to your startup. With that said, I'll give you a basic answer to this question, which is yes, you can form an LLC in any state, but I'm adding the caveat that your home state is usually the best choice. Let's break down my 3 reasons why. Number 1 is foreign qualification. When you create an LLC in your home state, it's called a domestic LLC. A foreign LLC, on the other hand, is when a domestic LLC wants to physically transact business in another state. A foreign LLC registration isn't actually an LLC at all, but it is an approval for an out-of-state LLC to legally operate in a different state from where it was formed. So, before an LLC is able to legally conduct business physically in a different state, the domestic LLC will need to register as a foreign LLC in the new state. And when I say physically operate, this doesn't mean just simply shipping products to customers in another state. This refers to having an active presence, like having an employee, a warehouse, office, etc. To sum up point number 1, this means by having a domestic and foreign LLC, you now have double the filings, like one in the foreign state and one in your home state, where you are essentially doubling the state filing fees, and you end up paying an annual report fee for both states. In a nutshell, you could end up with twice the cost and twice the headaches. And states don't typically mess around when it comes to enforcing rules about registering your foreign LLC. If you're caught doing business without registering, you could face fines, penalties, interest, court costs, or even lose the ability to do business in your home state. Reason number 2 is that when you form an LLC outside of your home state, you are also required to have a registered agent in the state of formation. A registered agent is a central contact that accepts legal documents on behalf of the LLC. This is typically a resident, such as the business owner if they live in that state, an attorney or registered agent service that will be at a specific address during normal business hours. Unless you have someone that you can count on to act as your registered agent in the state where you are wanting to form, a registered agent service will need to be hired. Expect this to cost, say, between $100 and $150 each year. No biggie, you may say, because, Greg, by forming my LLC in a different state, I'm going to save so much money on taxes. And well, that gets me to point number 3. A common misconception is that by forming an LLC in another state, you're going to save on state income taxes. You see, there's an old saying by accountants to keep in mind here that goes, the taxes are paid where the money is made, which means that income taxes are based on where the work is being done. So a common scenario is that someone in a high-tax state like California forms their LLC in a no-tax state like Nevada or Wyoming. But regardless of whether this business is a brick and mortar or they are entirely operating online and the California resident is conducting the operations of their Nevada LLC within the borders of the state of California, the LLC in Nevada isn't going to help the California resident escape higher income taxes. So, in summary, while you can technically form an LLC in any state, it's usually best to stick with your home state to avoid extra paperwork, fees, and potential tax complications. And to the person watching this who is a resident of a high-tax state and you're in the process of starting your business, my advice to you is please don't spend so much time scouring the internet trying to find tax loopholes yourself for business that hasn't made any money yet. Your time is so much more valuable in getting the business off the ground and successful. Once you get going, hire an accountant who does this type of stuff for a living to go over your personal situation and the business financials to find the best and legal way to save on taxes. That wraps up this video. For those of you who are eager to learn how to form an LLC, I have step-by-step guides at each state over at startingyourbusiness.com. And if you found this information useful, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content. Have a great day and hope to see you soon.